Alright, welcome to a kind of different video than normal. Usually I'm the 11-minute merchant, but I am trying to have some more quality to my videos, and we're starting with quite possibly the most underrated champion currently, and that's of course Falcon, Joaquin, Torres. I really just called him Torres. It's gonna be a long day, but before we get started here, if you like underrated champions like Falcon, and unlike Gallon, that video put me on the hot seat, but I'm trying to steer back into the right direction, be sure to subscribe because I want to hit, let's just go for the stars, 1 million by tomorrow. So let's get it done, and let's talk about Falcon for a bit. But I am going to format this in a different way. I'm going to talk about what I like most about this character via the Beans Big 3, also known as the BB3, also known as the only abbreviation that starts with BB that matters. Do not look up the other ones. Trust me, I am warning you. This is the only one that you should give any attention to. But let's talk about the Beans Big 3. What are the 3 biggest utility pieces of this champion? Well, I feel like it's his slow, his trauma, and his precision replacement. First things first, the slow, and it is without a doubt this champion's moneymaker. Having the ability to lock down, evade, and unstoppable for the entire fight, if he's awakened especially, it is just absolutely unreal. It is so good for like Thanos, Spider-Woman, a plethora of nodes. I feel like it's more of a nodes-based thing. It really counters a ton of nodes in this game, and you could even see it in like this victory track, or no, the gladiator circuit, yeah. So it's really just so powerful. Slow is a really good debuff, but having it permanently, that just is a bit surreal. And then of course there's the trauma, which is his main damage source, and yeah, to find main damage source, having access to a ton of debuffs via trauma is helpful for some science nodes as well, and it usually can help bypass some things such as DOT immunity because trauma is its own thing. So yeah, no notes, very good form of damage output. And last of the big 3 is his toes? No, that's not right. Who sabotaged my notes? That's not what that was meant to say. It's his dex replacement. Sorry, who put that there? But anyway, dex replacement is the main thing I'm talking about here, and it is very helpful for the likes of Buffet, any Mystic Defender in Battlegrounds and Alliance War, and also some champions in specific such as Nico Minoru. It's very good, and it serves a science champion very well. But now let's show some gameplay of this character, and let's see the big 3 in action. So first things first, a damage test. It has to be a damage test because the biggest question about this character is his damage output. The utility is well known. I feel like it's not appreciated enough at all, but it is at least well known. However, the damage output, that's always the biggest question for people. Let's see how he fares against 1 million health. Yes, the matchup is vanilla, but I just wanted to showcase how much damage this champion can do once he is given even like the smallest opportunity with his ramp up. So yeah, we go for the SP2, and after this we just have to build up our traumas, which are paused very easily via dropping the SP2 and dexing. And the dex one does have like a cooldown. You have to drop a special attack to reactivate it, and it still is a very smooth rotation. Having to get that dex to get the pauses hardly stops his momentum, and just look at this damage, dude. He is absolutely crushing this fight. We have the max amount of traumas. We're doing phenomenal damage with the red numbers, and yeah, this matchup is pretty much over. It was a 1 million health Iron Fist in about 1 minute and 4 seconds, which is great. That's great for a champion that has utility as good as this guy's, so I'll most definitely take that. Now we have some 9.1, we have this Footloose node, and of course it's Footloose, because that is, I think, one of his strongest matchups really. Unstoppable, evade, all really good for Torres. And yeah, the slow with the SIG activated at the start, so Footloose is literally not a threat for this entire matchup, and that feels a bit unfair because there are plenty of champions that have to have some ramp to get to their unstoppable and evade counter, and Falcon, he doesn't. There is no ramp. He just has it immediately, and he has it for the entire fight. That's when things get a bit silly with this champion. I feel like that part is the most underappreciated with this champion, and I'm glad that I can showcase it here in this video because it is actually absurd how reliable this character is, right? He is not known to be this godly damage dealer, even though he is putting up very fine fight times right now, but I feel like his reliability, it cannot be appreciated enough, really, because he just completely locked down that fight, and also it was under a minute for like 900,000 health. Now we have this Storm, and during this Storm matchup, I want to talk about what I'm doing with Torres here. So we gain velocity charges by inflicting debuffs other than trauma, and once we have 10 of those, whenever we drop a special attack, we'll activate this purple mode, which gives us both the benefits of defensive and aggressive instincts, which are the blue and orange phases. And once we have that purple mode active, yeah, it is just insane because we have the slow up at all times, we have the trauma activation at all times, and it is pretty much just a complete lockdown of the fight once that purple mode is active. And after that, you just want to keep on inflicting debuffs to get the velocity charges to keep that purple mode at the ready, and because of that, yeah, it's just a permanent thing. The benefits are permanent. The damage output is looking insane now, and that's really it, man. Like, simple as that. Just so good, dude. So good. Under a minute yet again. And I'm going to talk about some more stuff here in this Thanos matchup because there are some tricks to this character at the start. So he starts in the blue mode, right? But I want to switch immediately to the orange mode to take advantage of that slow, because while the slow is active, in our orange mode, we can inflict traumas. So that is one thing that people, I guess, don't realize, because I didn't realize it at first either. But to activate his traumas, you have to have the slow active, and that's why getting this purple mode is so important, because it combines the effects of the blue and orange mode. So basically, once the blue and orange mode are combined, then the slow always activates, and because of that, the orange mode gets to do its thing, which is inflicting the traumas. So you want to get to this purple mode as fast as possible, and like I said earlier, the way to do that is to inflict debuffs other than trauma. So inflicting slow, so basically them activating special attacks, inflicting your debilitate with your light attack, and also getting that physical vulnerability up. All really important things. I'm pretty sure parry does affect his velocity charges as well, so there are plenty of ways to get his charges, to get his damage going, and once he does that, he can take down Deathless Thanos in a minute. So yeah, it's insane stuff. That was to, of course, showcase his slow right there, because like I said, the slow is a permanent feature of this character, and that is just absolutely absurd. But now let's talk about the precision replacement, because it's not an immunity to precision, and for that reason, he can take Mcoc so well. Buff immunity does nothing to this character, and it's just like a regular day on the job for Joaquin Torres. So here we drop the SP2, the crits look beautiful. Oh my goodness, that was just so good, man. That was just so good. Here she drops the SP2 again, doesn't matter, we don't get affected by it whatsoever. Go back in, drop the SP1, and this was a 40-second takedown, a sub 40-second takedown of Nico Minoru. So yeah, really cool stuff. But now let's talk about the signature ability, because this is so good. You've probably seen it at the start of the fight, and you probably noticed that it has such good duration, and it also just lets him lock down unstoppable and evade immediately. So yes, it is very important. I was so close to calling it necessary, because having that immediate lockdown is just so valuable, but I do want to show some highlights of what this Awaken ability can do for you. So first things first, we have this Spider-Woman fight, and immediately, the evade just locked down completely. And additionally, having the slow at the ready means that you can switch your form from blue to orange immediately, and since the Awaken ability gives you that slow, you meet the orange mode's requirement of activating traumas, which is having a slow active. So immediately you have your damage just ready to go, and then that leads to such faster fight times. It leads to such crazier numbers after such little ramp, and this Spider-Woman goes down in 33 seconds. This is the fight that made me want to be like, okay, maybe it is a necessary thing, cause the burst, the amount of damage you get off the rip is just so important for a champion whose biggest struggle, quote unquote struggle, is the damage output, which honestly, with the signature ability, I don't think it's a struggle. So yeah, there are a lot of reasons as to why I think that his SIG is necessary. For example, right here, this Colossus, we just completely locked down his unstoppable right when the fight starts, just like that. And now we have a ton of like a really big head start to his ramp up before we get to the SP2, and the SP2 kind of just secures the bag for us. So there we go, we have our max ramp. This is 1 million health, I think it's 1.3 million even, and like the ramp up was just so quick, and here we drop the SP2 again. And yeah, like that's really it. The fight just feels complete, it feels done now. And the lockdown started right when the fight started. So yeah, I really do think that his SIG is kind of necessary. I'm just gonna say it. I think it is necessary. It just brings so much value to the table, because I think one of the best utilities to have in this game is to have something immediately at the start of the fight. And Torres, he gets that. He gets just that with his Awaken ability. And there we go, fight's done in 1:15. So to recap what I think are the best aspects of this character, one we haven't talked about yet, but it's Enchantress. We'll get to that right after I talk about the other two things, which is countering, evade, and unstoppable via that slow. And of course there are like other really good aspects of this champion, like I said in the big three, the trauma just being such a good source of damage output, the dexterity replacement, but just like this character's lockdown of these three things, it's just really good stuff, and I want to showcase it right here. So let's go for the Enchantress matchup first. Let's talk about how he's good for this character, and it's via an ability that I haven't really talked about that much this video, but it is a debilitate debuff. That is so good, because one, it increases the duration of any debuff that he inflicts, even his parry stun, which is really helpful. And here she drops the SP1, no big deal. As you can see, we left that purple charge open, but it doesn't matter because debilitate removes one of her spells pretty much, like it just kind of negates the spell. Here we go for the SP2 into the relic, and yeah, the fight's just done. Like that's really it. And because of that Awaken ability, we got such a big head start to that fight, so the fight time was incredible. It was like 39 seconds. So there we go, man. And to end the video, we have Necropolis, we have full boost active, we have the synergies active, and I do want to mention one really important synergy. It is the Sam Wilson synergy. So what this does is whenever he gains a velocity charge, Torres that is, he gets plus 1% attack rating for the rest of the fight. So this caps out at 50. So gaining 50 velocity charges gives you a ton of attack rating for the rest of the fight. And so once this fight like continues to progress, the damage output just gets a bit insane. And I'm not gonna spoil just how fast this fight was, but it will literally, it'll drop your jaw. Like I am not kidding. You would think a character that people like to clown on because of his damage would be like super slow in this, like 8 minutes, 9 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes, but yeah, no, that's not the case at all, man. It's a pretty crazy fight time. So now we're fully ramped, right? And whenever we fail the evade, we get some bonus damage because of his Awaken ability. And that's also one thing that I didn't mention like that part of his sig, but I think the most important part is obviously that slow at the start of the fight, because even in this matchup you notice the benefit, because Sauron has this node where whenever he would be struck by a medium attack, he has a 50% chance to evade. But at the start of the fight, the slow is active and it stays there permanently, so it was never a threat for Torres at all, and that's just absurd, obviously. But yeah, now we have the fight that's just going so well, right? This is going pretty much perfect. I dropped the SP2. Look at the crits, man. Look at the trauma damage. It is so good. And yeah, I can't really add too much to this fight because it does get a bit repetitive. It's just Torres. Oh my god, I said it again. It's just Torres having complete control of this matchup. And honestly, one thing that really shocked me about this character is the fact that he has his traumas on lock. I would think that eventually the durations are just too little and it just kind of makes him struggle against this 8 million health fight, and he can't keep the 25 traumas up at all times. But the reality is he shockingly stayed like at 25 traumas, if not that, then like 20 to 25 traumas for the entire fight once he was ramped up. And it's because of his pauses, obviously, right? Like, he has two ways to pause his traumas. First is via the SP2 in like 6 seconds afterwards. Then after that, his dexterity ability, which is very helpful. And that damage, man, like that damage is just so good. I just cannot emphasize just how shocked I am with this damage output, with this performance in this 8 million health fight. And yeah, the damage output just keeps on getting crazier. That's the wild part, really. And this matchup is almost over despite him still having a lot of health, but no, check out this damage output. The fight's ending very soon with crits like that, with trauma damage like that. And yeah, here he drops the SP1. I think I do mess up here. Yes, I do. I can never have a perfect fight in Necropolis. It's just, I don't know. It's unfortunate, but hey, this was still a very clean takedown. And here we drop the SP1, and the fight is over. And this was a 3 minute and 25-second takedown of a Necropolis fight. What a crazy way to end this video, obviously. I really hope that y'all did enjoy this video. I tried to go claws deep into this character. This is just part 1, but we have plenty of things to talk about with this champion still, and I cannot wait to keep on covering this character. So let me know your thoughts on Falcon, Joaquin, Torres, and yeah, that's about it for me.